You're watching us live on the nation's heartbeat, the pulse. And this afternoon, we'll be looking at heavy security at the Electoral Commission headquarters as anger greets disqualification of 12 presidential aspirants. We'll bring you details as several of them stormed the EC to demand answers. Now, supporters of the PPP have also poured onto the street amidst heavy security at the EC headquarters. And finally, lawyers for NDP candidates Nana Akufo-Addo and Rawlings have issued a 24-hour ultimatum to the EC to reverse their decision. We're also live at the PPP headquarters where its candidate, Dr. Pakwesi Indom, will be addressing the nation on his disqualification. It's live here on The Pulse, and I bet you we're going to have very interesting analysis and discussions of the top issues shaping up for the day. Stick and stay with us. Don't go away. And as we wait 66 days more for elections, this is your election headquarters. This afternoon, there's been heavy security at the Electoral Commission headquarters as anger greets the Electoral Commission's decision to disqualify some presidential aspirants. Today, some of the aspirants have stormed the Electoral Commission headquarters to demand responses. We'll hear from them shortly. But today, supporters of the Progressive People's Party staged a protest to express their anger at the decision. Maxwell Agbagba followed them and has filed this report.
We are live here at Salam Down, right here at the PPP head office, where some party supporters of the PPP are dissatisfied with what the Electoral Commission came out with yesterday, disqualifying their flag bearer, Dr. Pakwesi Indom. Here at the party offices in Salam Down, I see an MMT bus, one fully loaded with supporters. There are equally other buses here, other sprinter buses, packed here, all full with supporters. Now those behind me are chanting, no Indom, no vote, and they are saying that they are very angry. They are saying without Pakwesi Indom, they are not taking part in the upcoming election. The gentleman behind me, you can hear him screaming that he wants jobs, and he believes that Dr. Pakwesi Indom is the one to provide him with the jobs. Now, if you go to the EC offices also, a lot of disappointed presidential aspirants are also trooping in to try and resolve the issues raised by the Electoral Commission. How do you take the news about the disqualification of your flag bearer?
Yeah, it's very, very, let me say, it's a sad news and a sad moment we've been in now. Stating on the situation that the EC stands on to take out our flag bearer out of the election 2016. It's very, very, let me say, it's sad on our behalf. So what we would tell the EC is she should sit again and amend whatever she stands on to take, or she stands on to take off, let me say, some of the candidates from the 2016 election. She should do something with it because it's very bad on this way.
So what do you think should be the next line of action as a party member and a parliamentary candidate for that matter? What would you advise your flag bearer? What action would you advise your flag bearer to take?
Right, my flag bearer is still on, tapping wherever he can. He can be part again because already he's been in for many years, let me say like 2-3 times in the election, and he's well credible to fix in any election that comes off in Ghana. So we are preparing our legal practice to come back to the EC for her to do some amendments in her let me say assessment as she's done already. So what I will urge the EC to do is she should come again, because sometimes when we write or when we get problems, when we get cases in the court and stuff, although people, let me say, some people always offend the laws, but still it could be solved. So the EC should, try on her behalf to solve some problems. It's written. What I heard, the offend were double voters, this thing. So the EC should do something about it. There should be a correction. Yeah.
Is that in this world, Ghana, we all need jobs, not road. If you build a road for a good leader, or as a person, which I've been in school before, I've been paying even school fees. And if you do this thing to me, if you want me to vote for you, you are wrong. I'm going to vote for Boko Syndrome for this election. So if you say you have been banning for Boko Syndrome, it means you are lying. If you say you have been casting for Boko Syndrome, you are lying. That's what I want to say.
For Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
We can now hear from the aspirants who've been to the Electoral Commission's headquarters demanding answers. First, let's listen to Akwesi Adai Odike, who is presidential aspirant for the United Freedom Party.
I'm here to ascertain what I heard on the news, that my application has been okayed, but the EC is demanding out-of-court settlement from our party before they will give me the green light to contest the elections. I'm also not aware of the case because I've not been served by any court writ. But from the EC's point of view, two personalities from our party has summoned the EC before High Court, challenging my eligibility as the flag bearer of our party. And EC is demanding out-of-court settlements within 4 days from our end. Then he can give me the green light to contest the elections. But we have rules and regulations governing political party activities. And per our party's constitution, the Congress is the highest decision-making body of the...
Well, let's go live to the PPP headquarters where the presidential candidate for the party, Dr. Pakwesi Indom, is addressing the nation. He's actually responding to disqualification by the Electoral Commission because of a number of reasons. Let's go there live.
A negative or positive personal matter between her and me. None. And we must put it on record that the Progressive People's Party, the PPP, has over the years since its formation consistently called for the EC as an institution to be strengthened so that it can enforce the political parties law, that is Act 574 of the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, entitled the Political Parties Act 2000. And we must also put it on record that when we disagreed with the results put against the PPP's name in the 2012 elections, we didn't fight, we didn't insult, we didn't go to court. We just wrote a letter detailing the problems we experienced and made suggestions to make the process better. That's what we did. Because our aim is to strengthen our country, Ghana, and make our people prosperous. And so, let me get to the heart of the matter very quickly. to the urgent and immediate purpose of being here this afternoon. I am here to call on the Electoral Commission, specifically the returning officer for the presidential election, who also happens to be the chairperson of the EC, to allow the opportunity to meet with me to rectify any anomaly identified in the nomination papers amicably. I have had a full discussion with my lawyers, and we have reviewed the document that we filed, which was just given to us today. And here's the document. It's a document that we filed. This is one of 4 copies that we filed. You see all the pages in that document. And it is only today that we have received this and had the opportunity to review them. And where anybody can call that there is a problem, there are those 2 places where I have put the sticker in all of the document. And they are not in the entire pages. They are in just some short, small sections in those 2 pages. And so, with all due respect, we believe that the issue we have here is not a matter of some fraudulent behavior on anybody's part, but an administrative or clerical matter that can be rectified quite simply based on the evidence that I have with me, which is in here. A 5-minute discussion with Mrs. Charlotte Osei, the returning officer, will result in me being cleared to contest this December 7, 2016 election as a presidential candidate. That is all that it will take. Let me say that again. So I'm saying to you, with all that is in this document, all that is required is a 5-minute discussion with the returning officer, Mrs. Charlotte Osei. And the situation will be resolved, and I will be cleared to contest this December 7, 2016 election as a presidential candidate. And I am confident that once I am on the ballot, I'll become the next president of the Republic. I have been across the length and breadth of this country. We have seen the good, the bad. We have seen the areas we have termed the forgotten Ghana. We have seen the difficulties and experienced sometimes the terrible roads we have, the bad situations that are there. I am confident that this country, Ghana, needs the doer. Yes. The doer. I understand that Mrs. Charlotte Osei is not in Accra today. So through this medium, I am asking the chairperson of the EC and the returning officer to let me know by the end of this week, Thursday this week, when we can meet and deal with this matter positively. Because I believe that it is a simple administrative or clerical matter that can be resolved. Just just as it has been done for some of the other people who filed to contest to become presidential candidates, and we even know that someone has even been given until tomorrow to deal with the issues that he encountered, and that some other contestant was not able to pay their filing fee the stipulated time and has been cleared to contest the election. My lawyers agree that there is another option, but that option, I, Papa Kwesi Indom, do not want it. I in no way want to disrupt the electoral process that is underway in this country and cause any kind of uncertainty. However, if we cannot solve this matter simply, administratively, then we will take the legal route and go to court to seek satisfaction so that I can be on the ballot. That is the destination we want, to be on the ballot, and let the people of Ghana decide who should be president of the Republic of Ghana. And so, Mrs. Charlotte was saying, all I am asking is the chance for us, you and I, to meet. 5 minutes of your time, and we will put this matter to bed positively, put it behind us, so the electoral process will continue. Finally, our parliamentary candidates. I am asking you to take your disappointment, your anger, your pain, and focus it on your campaigns. Because I am with you every step of the way. I am with you on your ballots and will celebrate with you when you win. Let's show everybody the character of the Progressive People's Party. Let's show everyone what the PPP can do. We are a different political party. We have come with something not just different, but positive. We are not here to quarrel with anybody. We're not here to cause confusion anywhere. We know our rights, and we will seek and stand on our rights. But we will do so in a peaceful manner, so that when the Ghanaian people encounter our character, the content we have, they will know that truly these are the people who can take care of this nation for everybody's benefits and for wonderful gains to come. So to you, our parliamentary candidates, and all of our supporters everywhere, I tell you, no one can kill the love we have for our country and our determination to move this country forward. PPP. Yes, PPP. Yes, PPP. Yes, Ghanaman. 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 Atiyanka. 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 But I want to see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We thank very much, Dr. Andy, for that presentation. Question time, and I would like to take three set of questions at a go. Dr. Andy will answer them, then we move on. So the first question, no, please, this is a press conference, please. This is a press conference. It's meant for the press. You mention the name of your media, then you ask the question.
City FM. We want to find out, has the party already formally written to the commission seeking the audience? Because you have mentioned that you are using this particular medium, but you know, and the party knows.
So if you just joined us, you're still watching the Pulse on Joy News, and we've just listened to the presidential candidate of the PPP, Dr. Pakwesi Indom, who is still confident of being recalled by the Electoral Commission and also winning elections once he's cleared. He says that what the basis on which the Electoral Commission used to disqualify him has nothing to do with any fraudulent act. He says it's an administrative error that can be cleared within a 5 minutes meeting or discussion with the Electoral Commission chair. He's confident that once he's recalled, he stands the chance of becoming Ghana's next president, and he's asking his supporters to turn their energies into campaigning for him to win the 2016 polls. We can now listen to more of the disqualified aspirants who were at the EC's headquarters today to seek answers, and we can listen to Ekweadonko, who is also a flag bearer.
And me mom there. So I must say, yeah, yes, yeah. Medanya Miasi, Nana that's okay. My uncle Bia, not just a Ghana, Ninipa, and to me, my man, you're queer, made Dobina, but there's so many mammy badger Mahama or Penny of Mahama. One of the best women until 50 years adequate, or Flames having got and Meko.
Let's also listen to Kwabneje, who is an independent candidate.
I was told I've been disqualified, and I didn't take it lightly because, first of all, this is not my first time of contesting. I contested in the 2008 elections. And the basis of my disqualification was that 2 people endorsed me, and those 2 people were involved in multiple registration. And my brother, how will I know that this person is involved in multiple registration? And number 2, I submitted my forms on Thursday. And I remember Friday morning, the EC called some of us to come and do some corrections on the forms. And unfortunately, that 2 people that they were talking about, they didn't come out to, make mention of that. So how come we came to do some 1 or 2 corrections, but that one, nobody tell us that they are involved in multiple registration, so it will affect us. And even then, the electoral law says that before maybe we will file our forms or whatever, the EC is supposed to give us the provisional voters register.
They didn't do that.
They didn't do that. So therefore, let's assume this voters register, the provisional one, was given to us. We could have cross-checked after our people have come from the various.
Don't forget, it's 56 days to elections, and trust your election headquarters with all the details on the 2016 elections. Let's cross over back to the PPP headquarters, where Dr. Pakwesi Indom is answering questions from the media.
We are ready to demonstrate and show everything to anyone at the right time. But I must meet with the chairperson of the commission. So I don't want to stand anywhere and impugn anyone's integrity, even by any kind of association. our intent is we want to resolve this matter positively, amicably, by demonstrating, using the facts of the matter in the document and also the circumstances sitting there. Some people have gone and said all sorts of things about who is this Richard Asida and so on and so forth. Let me just say to you, we know the person. We know him. He has been a member of the party in good standing. And he has been with us in the political process for several years. He's not a man to cause mischief or anything like that. So at the right time, we'll put all these things on the table. Please, I don't think you are listening to me. I don't think you are listening to me. And there are facts of the matter that are in that booklet. We will make sure that we demonstrate that at the appropriate time. This is not the time for us to go into who said what and who said. The commission is not here. We will sit with the commission and we will deal with the matter positively. We know. Anything else? So the last one.
Good afternoon. Doc, my name is Michael Kredafo from Oman FM. The allegation out there is that EC deliberately disqualify you and the likes of Nana Konedu Ajman Rollins because you have picked running mates from the voter region in order to favor a political party. How do you respond to this allegation? Thank you.
My name is Patrick and if you are report for Accra. Dr. Indio, I've been listening to you and it seems you have not admitted to the fact that you've made errors in your nomination form. What do you have to say this is wrong? You haven't admitted.
I have said to you and to everyone that there is an issue here. And that issue is an administrative or a clerical one that can be cleared. You and perhaps others must know, this is not my first time contesting for election. I started at the assembly level, parliamentary. This is the third time presidential. So I've done this a number of times. And so I know what happens. I know the process we go through. And I know the responses that we get. And how we deal with matters that arise. We also know the issues with our voters register and certain things that arise. It's not correct. So there are some matters there. And as I said, I'm not here to impugn anybody's integrity. Anyone, we're just stating our case and making a request so that we can resolve this matter. Because that's all that we need. So resolve this. The gentleman who asked the question about not running the water region and Nana Konedu Ajiman and all of that, I have no way of knowing, but I don't even want to go there. For me, that is not an important point. We know the issues that are on the table. And that will resolve those issues. So we don't go into any strange matters and enter into a different arena altogether and bring problems. Maybe we can't even determine what they may be. So we just, our motto, Progressive People's Party, is prosperity in peace. Prosperity in peace. So when there's a choice to make, we will make that choice that will bring peace. And I know you in the media, it's also your responsibility to ask questions, to examine what is there. So you will also get ample opportunity, once we put all the cards on the table, to also take a look at it. There's nothing we can hide. You should acknowledge that when it comes to the Progressive People's Party and Papa Kwesi Indo, transparency has been there. if I can give you my income tax returns, if I can give you my asset declaration forms, if I can give you my health forms, what else would I want to hide from you? Absolutely nothing. And so, so I thank you for asking the questions. But in conclusion, Omeka Fancy Kakra. Yeah, Benjamin Higher Kanye. Maybe Benjamin Kanye. Oh, yeah, I'm a Progressive People's Party. And him, Yapiasumji. And yan Yazi Ibu. Yatima Opiara. Over two were many, and many there wasn't Brebiash in the same. Don't share one for Yajma. And yan or Ojina, the Biotsam. Okahu, maybe sign there. I will be here was it tomb as I shall sim. I also, and yet on one hour, order from what in Brana don't know. And you want the Kitamu Papa Obama, Pia, the original Nensaka, Emma, Akasaka Sebiara, Wamba. Baby sign. And I'm a year Casa in your day. The Enida Yatsi, I know why I had it. Now, so young Kajina baby, Yanka Yede, and I had say, Azi. Your shots then hire you should lay on the Okodu. Na yehu ade ndenyo do most naughty ama yetum ya nyenko fat na ho na enye hinara wose ano na ano wodi hia entertain ba enye hinara ya tena ho na ya hwe ema ensase ya yedwuma enseseme begina ha ma na mari sanye de oye owura yer Charlotte Osei Yes, sir, I did. On my hand, minutes in Numepe, no, you haven't snow. That's walking na Ibotum lay a share. And Mobia, she cracked him. I know whom pensim, and Sasia Yujuma. Making Ayats and Wasi. That's all crowd with Yano. And Bonibia in you. Obiara and Fabi Bonibia and Shinitrim. Door look on our cave, the Bureau being in water. Bibia in the hall. May I can you me answer hall. Na minutes in room, young share, Mansasi, on Yajma. Ya can Damaso, may I can you there? Any lawyer for so at no hall. Send the electoral commission of them run of the Yajma. Why church Zamani na be Sensasia Yajma, a confer for this war. No one them corners the Mempe. You have a lawyer for the Akajina court. Yakotuan Samadu. Oh, yeah, or the Hauba. Oh, yeah, on my Binum, Markmo or Shishimon. Oh, yeah, Biaka Sambia, or that's some Cassibiza by Tianzi, or what's in Yansam, oh, ye, Yakosi a bit beam. Now, so ya pede, yet snow. Now, Yaman, Sassi, or Yajuma. Sending him there, Ghana and baby Wakadano, baby Wakadano. Oh, here, Amanyuku Progressive People's Party. I'm very good. I'm assuming there. Say, and Sassi Yajuma, Emma was a mokotu about 2 crowd Heroda. Honestly, I prefer for a bar. No one about paying for is now. Papa.
Thank you very much for attending. We thank very much the media for coming. We also thank party supporters, party members who traveled all the way from their various destinations to come to this press conference. We appreciate you, we love you. I want to believe that Dr. Lim has really tested everything under G. Now, you can also join the conversation on GN media platforms. Here I'm referring to BTF, ATV, FNN, and all that.
So that was Dr. Pakwesi Indum addressing the media with some questions they asked him. But one thing is key that ran through his speech. He says that he's sure. He's also sure of himself that there will be an amicable solution of the impasse between the PPP and the Electoral Commission. And he says that once that is resolved, in 2017, when the name of the winner of the 2016 election is going to be mentioned, it will be no other than Dr. Pakwesi Indum. Of course, he's asking his supporters to channel their energy in campaigning for him, even as he tries to resolve this issue, because he's sure that he's going to win, he's going to resolve the issues, and he's going to win the elections. Welcome back to the heartbeat of the nation, the pulse. And now let's do more. Expansion works have begun on the Tema Motorway to ease congestion there. Now, engineers have begun work to add one lane to each side of the 7.3-meter two-lane dual carriageway. Today, Roads and Highways Minister Alhaji Inusa Hussaini was there to cut the sword for works to begin.
This obviously is an interim measure. It means we are very much concerned as a ministry, as Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, as Ministry of Transport, as MPS, we're all very concerned that when the expansion of the port begins, traffic will build up here. And so to ensure that people who will continuously use this road do not go through difficulties, we need to do this intervention, and that's what we are doing. This one will take us 6 months. So whatever inconvenience that we are going to create will be 6 months. And then we will have the product that will substantially mitigate whatever hardship that we are facing completed and handed over to us. Now, we are eternally grateful to Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. I say Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority because it is they who found an investor to expand their ports. And in expanding the ports, they anticipate an increase in cargo. And like he rightly said, in Ghana, more than 90% of our goods and services are moved by road. And so this road is a potential bottleneck. Where cargo is increased at the port, importers will want to evacuate their cargo quickly out of the port. And so they partner us to see how MPS can help in removing this potential bottleneck.
Now, Roads and Highways Minister Alhaji Inusa Hussaini joins me in the studio for some more on this project. You're welcome on the Pulse, Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
We know this is just one part of a bigger project. Let's look at the scope of what you just went to cut the sword for. You talked about 6 months. It will take 6 months to complete. But what exactly will go into this, and how much are we looking at spending on this project?
Well, thank you so very much. The project that we cut short for this morning is to do an emergency intervention, temporary if you want, at the Tema Motorway roundabout. Now, you realize, and if you are a commuter living in Tema or in Accra, going to Tema or coming from Tema to Accra, the Tema roundabout is a bottleneck. Serious, but you can spend up to 2 hours just trying to navigate in traffic, just trying to navigate the roundabout. Now, so the first step is to add additional lane in the roundabout, that is the circumference of the roundabout, so that we instead of the 2-lane that is the roundabout, it becomes 3-lane. Now as designed, all vehicles going towards Tema, that's the Mankwazi fisheries, will have to use the roundabout before they navigate their way to that lane.
Exactly so.
Now, and if you are coming from Michel Camp, you either enter the roundabout or you use a slip road, which is hardly being used. you're coming to a flower, you want to traverse the road and move towards Michelle Camp, you have to use the runabout.
Right.
So traffic builds up in the runabout.
Right.
So what we went to do this morning is to cut short for work to begin on adding additional lane to the runabout and doing slip roads. Now the hospital road, which takes its bearing from the runabout, will cease to exist. You can't access the runabout using the hospital road. I mean, using the hospital road. So if you are from the hospital road coming to the Tema runabout, you want to access the motorway, you either use the overpass that goes to Ashama and descend, but not get into the runabout and move towards Michelle. So that when you descend and you are going to Michelle Camp, you make it to Ashama and turn left, get to the Ashama runabout, and you are going to Michelle Camp. That way, traffic is decongested. But we are going to do slip roads around the runabout, so that people who need not use the runabout do not enter the runabout.
Do not enter, so that it can ease.
Well, we've done simulation. We have done the simulation, and then we were able to complete the work in 6 months. Apart from the lane that comes from Michelle Camp towards Accra, that was significantly overburdened because it was negative 818%.
Wow.
We needed to create space up to 818% to be able to contain the traffic.
Wow.
Now, what we are going to do, we'll still create some little bottleneck, which is negative 71.
Okay.
So it will drop from, that will be better than 818%.
Yes. So how much money are we looking at investing?
We are looking at 28 million Ghana cedis.
28 million Ghana cedis for this project.
For this particular one, an important first step to address the congestion that builds up around the Tema runabout. The port expansion work will add additional load to the runabout. As explained by the CEO of MPS, we're going to put a lot of our 100,000 tons of rocks into the sea to be able to build and expand the Tema port. That will require that vehicles work very, very hard and move fast enough to convey these blocks from wherever they access them to the port. Now, if they are going to do 2 trips a day, it will take you probably forever to be able to complete.
Right.
So if they increase the additional lanes, that will improve upon their performance and efficiency.
Okay, so let's listen to the CEO of the Meridian Port Services, the company partnering government to undertake phase 1 of the project.
We did the project execution and the phasing program according to the traffic study, according to the data. Everybody knows from Accra to Akosombo and Aflao to Akosombo, this direction, 2 directions, especially directions go to the north. We get serious.
Tema Port is a big port. It's the biggest and the largest port on the west coast. We are the 2nd largest economy, and certainly we are the biggest port among all ports. So basically, the road network and the corridor is already important today, and we really need to upgrade it to match the future of Ghana and the sub-region. And for this, we have been working closely, of course, with our partners and regulator GPHA, and in close coordination with the Ministry of Roads and Highway and the team from Ghana Highway Authority and the Department of Urban Road. Basically, this is a new port development for those who did not see it. This is the existing harbor, and in proportion, you can tell the difference. This is a massive port development. This is part of the GPHA master plan. This is actually the first step inside the GPHA master plan. The harbor basin, what you see here, we will develop 4 container berths, and behind it, a yard and a multi-user facility, which could also be serviced through rail. The rest of the harbor basin is open for development by DPHA in due course. This, one of the bottlenecks along the road is this roundabout, and this is what we want to develop. Just to give you a feel, this is the Akrata Motorway, the red circle is the roundabout, and then connected to the Harbour Road, and as well as running parallel to the Hospital Road, and then the Meridian Road.
Okay, so that was the CEO of the company partnering government to embark on this project. This company is paying as much as $28 million for this project. What do they get? Million Ghana cedis for this project. What do they get in return?
That's their corporate social responsibility, and they'll get everything in return. Why? Because they are doing a project. They are undertaking a project, a $1.5 billion project at the Tema Port expansion. Now they've identified the runabout as a constraint that can significantly affect the output at the Tema Port. They have more than 3,000 workers at Tema working at the port. The workers need to get to work on time. If they don't get to work on time, it affects their output.
Right.
Now the vehicles that will be conveying these rocks, these boulders, will need to get to Tema on time. They can't spend 2 hours in traffic. It will significantly reduce. So you see, what they are doing is a corporate social responsibility. We are not, Ghana government is not paying a dime. But they are going to get, they are adding value even to their work. They'll be able to finish this work within the stipulated contractual period if they are able to do this. And so that is why they have invested in the expansion of the motorway runabout, so that it can positively affect and impact on what they are doing at the Tema Port.
Right, so let's look at the bigger picture. How does the picture look like? When is this project going to commence and complete? And what role is it going to play in reducing congestion on the roads?
The bigger picture is the redevelopment of the Tema Motorway into a 3-tier dual carriage road that is on each side. So you have 6 lanes. We are going to expand the motorway from within, not without. That is, so property impact will be minimal. That we're using the road reservation from within the island. You know, the island is the middle of the road. Now there's going to be a dedicated route from the mouth of this new port onto the motorway. And it's going to connect the motorway at Ashaiman. So there's going to be a redesign and remodification of the Ashaiman interchange to carry the load that will be emanating or originating from the port. Where we are doing modifying the runabout, we are going to use a Japanese grant to do an interchange there, so that traffic originating from Accra or coming from Aplao and going straight to Accra will not be interrupted, will not be interfered with, or they won't come into conflict with traffic going towards Michel Camp or going to Tema. So the comprehensive and holistic development of the motorway is one. Next year, the Japanese facility would be available. We have prepared the cabinet memo, and probably before Parliament rises this term, we would have had parliamentary cabinet approval and parliamentary approval for us to be able to satisfy some of the CPs, that's condition precedent, to access the loan. And when the design of the interchange has been done by the Japanese with approval from the Ghana Highway Authority. The MPS, the significance of the redevelopment of the motorway cannot be lost on all of us. One, the motorway itself was constructed more than 50 years ago. The residual value of the concrete is gone. So we ought to have changed the rigid concrete pavement on the motorway long ago. We were still looking for funds to do that when MPS came to expand the Tema Port.
Right.
And they identified the motorway as a potential bottleneck. Because when the port is expanded, you anticipate an increase in cargo.
Right.
And the turnaround time is very important for any businessman who imports into Tema. So to be able to move cargo expeditiously out of the port, which cargo, more than 90% of which will move by road, you need to develop the road because we don't have a complementary railway system.
Okay.
And so that is why MPS decided to set aside between 200 and 250 million US dollars to do the motorway, change it into a 3-lane. And we're developing it with the same concept that our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, had. It was designed and developed as an expressway. That's why they will tell you, history will tell you that when they built the motorway, there were no houses. It was the whole area was ranching grounds for animals.
Right.
So they had to fence both sides so that vehicles can drive fast and just leave the motorway.
Right.
Now, so that's the design concept that we are going to use. And it will be similar to the concept from Achimota to Ofonko. So when you are going to Kumasi and you enter the inner lane, you don't exit until you get to Ofonko. So that's how we are going to develop. And there's going to be, so even at the mouth of the new port, that's the hospital road,
right,
we are going to create a dedicated route straight for vehicles leaving the port, not interfering with local traffic onto the motorway.
All right, that sounds like good news. But let's look at exactly when are we supposed to commence this, and when are we envisaging to end this project, because it will be good.
Now, Sister, we had anticipated that by the 3rd quarter of this year, we would have signed the contract for construction. Indeed, when we started engaging with MPS, they had a very simplistic idea of what they were supposed to do. What value do they want to add? They wanted to add another road so that vehicles can move quickly.
Right.
But we know that our Tema motorway is 50 years old. You have to replace the concrete.
Okay.
And we know that when Tema motorway was being conceived and designed, there were no buildings. So it was designed as with the fact that
there was no
vehicles, there were no houses around the motorway.
Yes.
Now, the whole concept of the motorway has to take into cognizance the urban nature or urbanized nature of the area. Right. So you need to provide for people
living on
both sides to be able to commute without interfering with the vehicles on the motorway.
Right.
So we are going to do interchanges, about 3 of them, on the motorway, so that people can commute, can traverse the motorway without necessarily coming into contact. So the design, so when we did that, and the motorway has 23 water crossing points.
Wow.
That's bridges.
Right.
Or culverts. Now, you need to assess the state of the culverts to see whether they can take additional load or you need to build new culverts. Because mind you, the motorway that you are going to develop will have to last you another 50 years.
Exactly so.
So you need to put things right. So when we sat down, we formed a technical committee headed by one of our good engineers, Mr. Sean, and then they comprehensively looked at everything that ought to go into the design of the motorway. And so they gave these factors and issues to the MPS, who recruited a consultant to design the motorway. The design is being done. It will be reviewed by the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ghana Highway Authority. And then when we finally agree on the design, and we've given timelines, I mean, we think that by 1st quarter of next year, we should be able to review and complete with the design. The 2nd quarter of the
next year,
we get all the approvals. We seriously believe that if we follow the timelines without any break in what we are supposed to do, by the third quarter of next year, we should be implementing the motorway project.
Okay, so by third quarter, that's about, say, 10, 11 months from now to commence. So we don't know when we're supposed to end this project. Have you...
Which one?
I mean, the bigger project.
No. When it's done, contracts are normally for a period maximum 3 years.
3 years.
This is a 19.3 kilometer road. So,
okay. So this should be done within 3 years.
It's just because we have to do concrete pavement. We want to maintain the sentimental value of the road. Kwame Nkrumah used concrete. And so we want to still maintain the concrete for sentimental reasons. Okay? Otherwise, if we change to bitumen and do asphalt overlays on the road, it will take lesser time to do.
Okay.
But we want to maintain the quality will still be good.
Okay.
But you see, for sentimental reasons, our first president did that road with concrete.
So you want to maintain that.
Many of our school children have read about the motorway having a rigid pavement. We still want to keep that historical significance of the road, the first concrete road in this country.
So this first one you went to cut the sod for, you said 6 months, so we're looking at about, say, April.
By June it should end.
June.
We are not counting this year. We are not counting, we are discounting October.
Okay.
So we are saying that November and December.
That should be April if it's 6 months.
Yes, but the contractor has given additional. So barring any eventuality, by April we should finish. Okay. But the contractor says that by June 16th, it should be out of that place.
Should be done. Let's look at a serious issue on the motorway. Almost all the street lights, almost, not all, but almost all of them are off, and that has encouraged armed robbery attacks on that road. When are you going to fix all of these problems?
Well, I mean, for the motorway street lights, I have a historical connection with it. When I was a deputy minister at the Ministry of Energy then, responsible for power, we had consistently fixed the street lights. But what happens, my dear sister, is that thieves go to cut the cables. When they cut the cables, the street lights become dysfunctional. And then, like what happened on the N1, some go to climb to remove the lamps. That's why I've always said, yes. At one point, I was actually considering the possibility of putting CCTV cameras on the poles so that we could be watching the motorway from our offices. But ask again, unless recorded, we close at 5. These thieves operate in the night. So what happens when they cut and they're working in the dark? Can our CCTV cameras capture them in the dark?
But something still ought to be done. So what security checks are you putting in place?
So what we have done is we are in discussions with the Ministry of Power. We think that the way to go now is not to use cables, but use solar lamps which have no cables. They are batteries, but the batteries can be located up such that they cannot be tampered with, so that we have lights throughout in the night on the motorway. And so we have told them that what they need to do is to assist. And anytime we do a road and we put the lights on the road, the lights or the street lights become the property of the Ministry of Power. And so we've told them that they should work with us to see how, even with this redevelopment, we are very hesitant in bringing new lights because they think that we are just going to start the road. And when we start the road, especially that we are saying that we are going to expand the motorway from within, it will affect the street lighting infrastructure that we are going to put there. But we are working with them to see how we can light up the motorway even before.
So how soon? How soon is this?
Well, I'm not able to talk.
Monday.
I'm not able to hold brief for the Minister of Power. Mine is to convey these sentiments, and I believe that your sentiments represents and reflects the sentiments of the generality of Ghanaians, to convey same to him and say, look, we need to do something to light up the place.
Right. Final question on the project on the Tema Motor. We talked about grants from a Japanese facility. What does this facility entail?
It's a 1.2 billion yen facility. It's the most concessional facility apart from the World Bank loans. Now, it was one such loan that we used for the construction of the Yamuransa Road. I mean, the Japanese have consistently supported Ghana to build our infrastructure. And when we went HIPIC, they suspended the loans because they say that if you say you can't pay for loans, it means that you, even for concessional facilities, you won't be able to pay.
Right.
Now, we've come out of HIPIC. We are happy that they have restored the yen loan, and then they looking to support us to do the interchange. Not only that, they are also giving us the loan to do the Volivo Bridge.
Right.
That is as part of the Eastern Corridor. We are doing the from Tema Junction. We are going to take the road to Volivo and then join to Isukuma Junction. That is the Eastern Corridor, and we need an additional bridge, just like the bridge at this Adomi Bridge.
Right.
And so we are going to do another hanging bridge or suspended bridge, just like the Adomi. And so yes, this facility is from Japan. They're supporting us to be able to do that, and design has been approved, like I said. And we're just waiting for the cabinet approval to forward it to Parliament for parliamentary consideration and ratification. And thereafter, we can begin to see how to assess the loan and then implement the project.
And what's the span of this loan and the payment process of the loan?
The payment process is just like, like I said, the facility is concessional. The payment process will be almost like we have been going through. Is manageable by our standards, and so when we do go to Parliament will have a look at it, and if Parliament is satisfied that the payment process or program will not unnecessarily exert an undue hardship on our present financial situation or economic situation, Parliament will approve same, and then we can start.
The Circle Interchange is perhaps one of the biggest projects government is embarking upon. Indeed, it has created some inconveniences now. How long is it? How much more time do you need to complete this project?
The Circle Interchange is almost done. I don't know the last time when you visited there.
So
it's done
by next month?
No, by this month, and then the Circle Interchange is ready.
Okay, so
yes,
you commission it.
We'll commission by give and take. By first week November, we should be commissioning the Circle Interchange.
There are people who feel that you're not really doing a good job on it. You are just hastening the job because of elections. So it may be a bit dangerous for people who use the interchange.
This is strange. What the contractors have done, and what we did was we agreed on certain benchmarks, and we have kept onto them. Look, what we ought to understand is that Aisha, you use the interchange, I will use the interchange.
Right.
All of us will use the interchange. If you have a car, you use the interchange. We are building roads for the future. Inus Afuseni will not be the roads minister forever. Inus Afuseni might not be a minister forever. And definitely will not be a minister forever. So my children and your children and our grandchildren should come to meet that legacy. We cannot shortchange the people of this country. Engineers have assessed the structural integrity of the interchange. In fact, the Institute of Engineers have paid the visits to the construction site and assessed the work that the engineers are doing.
Right.
And we have no doubt. You see, experience teaches. Experience is a bad teacher. Oh, they are saying this. People are saying that the interchange has not been built well. But when the interchange survives for more than 50 years, probably we will be there to attest and give testimonies to the fact that when we were building the interchange, they said it won't last for 50 years. That's why experience is a bad teacher. Experience should have taught us that we should be able to anticipate what is going to happen in the future. But look, I can assure you that the interchange is being built with the best of Brazilian technology. It's being built by the best of contractors in Brazil. It's being supervised by the best of consultants in this country and being monitored by the best of institutions in this country.
Let's look at the overhead that links Circle to
Fanofa. Okay,
that bridge.
Okay.
It's been there for a while and it looks like it's a bit weak. I mean, there are a number of complaints on that bridge that it's weak and something needs to be done. I don't know if that has
Circle
come to your
to
attention. Yes, that bridge, Asalam down Kokomlimle Circle, that bridge over there.
Okay, it means that, well, I will have to get the engineers to go and assess that bridge. That overhead.
Yes,
that overhead.
Exactly. So
that was about the first overhead that we had. Yes, yes.
So that's quite long.
No, yes, and that sits on top of the elongation of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll have our engineers go to assess it, but it has not come to the notice of our engineers, or our inspectors have not yet filed the report, which shows that the bridge is weak. But I mean, if you've gone to see it or if you have heard so, we need also to go back and see.
So let's look at the Circle interchange proper. I mean, I'm happy that by end of this month or early next month, we will commission it for use. But what role is it going to play? It will, I mean, stop traffic congestion, it will make driving smooth. What exactly, which role is it going to play?
Look, convenience. People used to stay in traffic at the Circle for hours. During those hours that they were in Circle, they missed appointments. They could not keep appointments. They burnt fuel. They polluted the environment. Now, you are going to have an interchange that will not have traffic. So people can keep appointments. So it will improve and increase upon the economic activity of this country. It will lessen pollution. You are not going to sit in your car at Circle burning your fuel and polluting the environment and causing a lot of displeasure for people who are also who are other road users.
But the interchange looks complicated. I remember when they did the Achimota interchange, it created a lot of problems, I mean, in the first instance. So what measures are you putting in place? Are you going to start some education as to how motorists are going to use the road so that it doesn't also create any crash?
This interchange is not complicated. It's rather innovative.
Okay.
And because of the innovation, if you don't watch it well, you think it's complicated.
Okay.
If you are from the church area, it's one lane, or I mean, it's one-way road. And you are going towards Achimota. You come onto one of the bridges. It takes you towards Achimota. You don't come into conflict with an oncoming vehicle.
Okay.
So, in the past, if you were from that church area, you have to come to the taxi rank. There was a taxi rank there.
Right.
Join the runabout, navigate the runabout, and go towards Achimota.
Okay.
This time, you're not going to do that.
Right.
If you are from Achimota and you are going towards Accra, towards PTC, you are not coming into contact with any vehicle. Immediately you get into the interchange, it will dislodge you around where we had around the PTC. After the PTC, it will dislodge you there, and then you are going.
Right.
You can only navigate and come back around the PTC, but you cannot join. I mean, there's no way you can join any other traffic.
Okay.
If you are from Circle, that is, we're on the Broadcasting Road, and you are going towards Fanofa, Awudome, or STC,
right,
you must necessarily use the flyover.
Okay.
So again, you don't come into conflict, and you don't make a decision to stop and do a U-turn. There's no U-turn.
Okay.
So you are going, and you might have to.
That if you miss your road, you would have to go to the end of the road.
That's why you have to be very careful. You have to plan before you move. And we have slip roads.
Right.
So because the distance will still be there, the trot, and there will be a police station, there will be a Kwame Nkrumah waterfront. So we have slip roads. So if you have business transaction around the grid level, that is the ground floor, you still come down. But when you come down, there is no way that you can join the interchange until you exit the slip. You transact your business and exit the slip.
So looking at this innovation, wouldn't these the terminals, the truck drivers, hawkers, wouldn't they be a distraction? Are you going to remove all of them over there?
If a vehicle is coming from probably Pokwase, this rapid BRT, bus rapid transport or terminal, is moving and is servicing Accra, and it has no business doing a circle. It's not supposed to stop a circle. It will use one of the two bridges from Achimota. It goes on the bridge after Guel, then it goes towards Accra. Probably will have to stop around the Adabraka police station for people to join the bus. But it has no way, there will be no way of stopping on the bridge to pick. You cannot even get into a bridge. If you get onto a bridge, probably you are going to walk your whole way across the bridge. There will be no stops on the bridge.
How about the trotro drivers?
So if you are a trotro driver, you operate from the circle, you have to operate at the ground level.
Okay.
And then when you operate, when you get there, you see there are slip roads. So when you are operating on the ground level, there's still a mini runabout at the ground level. You go towards PTC, and while you are getting to the Guel area, you will join the road.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds very interesting. But you know, hawkers, they won't listen. They just want to sell. So, I mean, the way the road goes like this, and if hawkers think that this is where most of the vehicles pass, so let me stand there because they will buy my stuff. What plans do you have for hawkers?
Again, hawkers operate where vehicles stop.
Okay.
So you see them operating at the traffic lights. The interchange is designed in such a way that vehicles will not stop there. So if you are a hawker, you go and stay there, you'll be like our economists. You're choosing the location of your business transaction wrongly.
Right. So the Obiche-Bilamte perhaps is also one of the oldest roundabouts. I know you have a project coming up.
Yes, Parliament has even approved a loan facility for the construction of the Obiche circle. I mean, the construction of a Obiche-Bilamte circle will provide a comprehensive solution to traffic situation along the corridor. You see, when you are coming from the broadcasting area, you getting towards circle, you take the interchange, the lanes increase.
Yeah.
And then you come down the interchange, the lanes narrow.
Okay.
And then we are building Kaswa.
Okay.
Again, so when Kaswa is done and vehicles are originating from Kaswa area, they will come faster into Accra.
Right.
And then we have done the graphic.
Okay.
The graphic road, you know, just around the where they use, is this Simbins, where they used to have this furniture shop.
Yes.
We've done the railway crossing. We've done the flyover there.
Yeah.
Now, so all that makes vehicles move faster. When they get to Obiche-Bi, there'll be a gridlock.
People can't wait to see Obiche-Bilamte functioning. When are you starting? When are we completing this project?
We have done the loan has been approved. The consultants have been taken. The road will be executed by Keros Gaval, so the contractor has been identified. They are left with some CPs. There are certain things that we have to do. Literally, we get the CPs through. The contractor will mobilize and go to site and then start work. Yeah.
Well, many thanks to you, Alhaji Nusa Hussein, Minister for Roads and Highways. Many thanks for your time.